Hi everyone, right then, let's see how much of previous 3 videos stuck. Okay, so let's have a fresh page, and as we're going to create our first dashboard, let's get in the habit of starting to rename them as well. We'll just call it first dashboard. Okay, so we're going to add a bunch of visuals in here, and then we're going to create a dashboard out of them. So I'm going to step by step through them. The list of the visuals that we're going to create were on your notes, if it's easier to have them next to you. I'll also copy them and put them next to the YouTube description if anyone is working through in their own time. Okay, so the first one, matrix. So I'll go on, I'll grab a matrix. Within the matrix on the rows, we'll have college. On the columns, delivery method. And on the values, number of students. All right, don't worry about tidying anything up just yet. We're just going to do all that in one go. Click off. Number 2 is a card. And on the cards, we want completion rate. And remember I said, because it's a percentage, doesn't actually make sense to add it up. So we're going to change sum of completion rate to average. Okay, click off. Next one, number 3, is a clustered column chart. I'll move that over because we've got a couple of things in there. Bit of tidying up to in a minute. On the clustered column chart, x-axis, college. Y-axis, number of students. And we'll leave that as a sum. And on the legend, SCQF level. If you just click it, sometimes it goes in the wrong one. So we just drag it down. SCQF level into the legend. Okay, again, needs some tidying up, but we'll do that in a minute. Number 4, clustered bar chart. That one there, so that's 3 along top. Again, I'll pull that over, give it a bit more space. Don't worry about making them tidy just yet. We're going to do all that in one go. And on the clustered bar chart, on the x-axis, we'll have number of students, leave as sum. On the y-axis, we'll have college. Where are we? And on the legend, we'll have year. Just drag that in there. All right, perfect. And on number 5, we'll have a matrix. Get busy. There we go. Again, a bit more space. And on that matrix in the rows, we'll have college, then course name. College, and then course name. And it's gone into columns. So I'm just going to drag it up there. So in the rows, college, course name. Columns, SCQF level. And values, number of students. All right. Again, don't worry about being able to see everything just yet, because we can just do a big tidy up at the end. So next one, we'll have a tree map. Now, I don't think I've shown you tree maps yet. There we go. And in that tree map category, we'll have course name. Details, SCQF level. Put it into there. And value, so it values number of students. By the way, anybody not seen a tree map before? It sort of works like I suppose like a pie chart, in that the different sizes of sections are dependent upon the value in here. So number of students is bigger section dependent upon how many of those are. But I quite like tree maps. Another quite handy thing about tree maps for dashboards, they're rectangular. So they're making the best use, or square, they're making the best use of space within the section that you've got on that dashboard. And the very last one, just click off there, we're going to have a line graph, that one there. And on that line graph, on the x-axis, we'll have year. On the y-axis, number of students. And on the legend, SCQF level. I'm sure you all know this, but line graphs are best for showing changes over time. There we go. Right then, that's everything that's on there. Now make it pretty. Okay, there's not a right or a wrong way. I would suggest to do that. You see, expand them, because really you want to have as many of them as possible that you don't have to scroll, or your user rather doesn't have to scroll. So you can just move them all around and see how you get on. All right. It's I would go in, start updating things like titles. Remember adding in your visual borders and your shadows and so on, so they all spread apart. And if you remember the one I sent you out in the pre-course information, and what I'll do is I'll put a little picture of it at the beginning of the YouTube videos as well for anybody watching on catch up. That's what I started with. And by the time I tidied it up, it was a little bit more user-friendly. So I will go in and do it. And as I'm doing it, if you work along and you update it yourself, remember, it's just a case of plodding through and updating things as you like. Now, in my case, I'm going to keep the consistency. If I just go back to page 1 or whatever, 2, that I'm going to use what I like as a title there. So in my case, it was a font size of 20, white, center aligned with a bluish, turquoise, whatever colour that is, background, same colour as behind me on that DC sign. And I'm going to go through and do all that and then see what space I've got. You might want to pick a different colour, font size, whatever, but let's see if we can tidy things up a bit. So I'll go through and I'll start doing that. So for instance, on that, the titles, they're not great, are they? So I'm going to go number of students by course name and SCQF. And I'm going to keep them all at 20. I may regret that. I may want to go in and because I'm having a lot on here and reduce the size, but I'll start off with that, see how we get on. Text color white, background blue, and center. And then while I'm there, I'll go into effects. Like I say, there's no right or wrong way, but what you're looking for is a consistently finished dashboard that shows as much of that data as possible without a waste of space, but also making everything readable. So, carry on. Help if I can spell number, of course. I'm also going to go through and get rid of unnecessary titling. Because I've got a number of students by college and SCQF level at the top there, I probably don't need to have these access titles and things on. This gives us that little bit more room. Great. I'll come back to you all in a wee minute. I'm going to put a picture up in a minute of a suggested finished one, but let's see if you can do a little bit better than myself. Okay, cheers.